Hey guys, I'm just going to put myself on mute for a second here. Yeah, can you hear me? You're saying good morning. We had. Mm, I don't think we're having a problem with the buffering. I'm not sure what to do. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the YouTube stream, guys. What time is it now? 9:15. God, I hate this one. I have some technical issues. I'm not really sure how to fix it. Give me a moment. I'm going to have to take a screenshot of the message I'm getting and pass it on to somebody. Okay, guys, just give me another moment here as I rearrange some things on my other screen. Okay. Yeah, nothing happens until the market opens on, you're talking about the layout that I share? Nothing happens until the market opens, okay? They're all designed that way. All right, guys, well, what else did I have here? Just another quick couple of rundowns. Our IRTC, another one that is gap way down, I believe. Yeah, way down, IRTC. They're taking, if we don't get better reimbursement rates from our device, it's not good. So that's the reason for IRTC's huge gap down, or a big gap down. Look at that. Only 28 million in the float for an $88 stock, down 33%. FBIO. No new news, but this is just a nice continuation. A little bit choppy intraday to day trade, but there's no question this has been a great little trend. MUDS. This is from last week also. MUDS is still hanging in there. Yeah, not bad. Up almost 5%. MUDS. So it's above Thursday's high. Maybe we'll start to challenge the high on Wednesday and Tuesday of last week. All right, what time is it? 9:18. I'm going to quickly go to the All right, let me just do a quick check to see what sort of upgrades and downgrades we have this morning. My guess is not. Oh, actually a few more than I thought. Remember, this is the start of earnings week, guys. So let me get a few of them in here, the upgrades. I actually see a couple of upgrades for this is a little one, I think. TRQ. TRQ. You might want to take a look at that as I am getting these upgrades in. I think some energy plays are getting upgrades. Couple of upgrades for E. All right, these are some of the upgrades. Look at the downgrades in now. All right, some downgrades, actually just about even in terms of the upgrades and downgrades. Get a few of them in here. And then I'll take a look at the TRQ. I know that's a little one. For some reason, a couple of analysts have decided to upgrade it this morning. All right, there are some of the upgrades, some of the downgrades from briefing.com this morning. Take a look at TRQ. Let's see if it's doing anything this morning. I think it's it's a little more expensive than I thought it was. I thought for some reason this was a $5 stock. So nice little move. Nice little move. I mean, no volume yet. It's a Canadian stock. Okay, it's a Canadian stock, obviously co-listed to exchanges, Canada, and in the U.S. This is trying to crawl back here. It's had a pretty decent last few months, but at any rate, we've got a couple of analysts upgrading them. BCTX. You're asking me about BCTX. My thoughts on BCTX. Again, this was, of course, super active on Friday. I think it's on my watch list. Yeah, it's on the watch list. I don't know if it'll trigger. It has to take for it to trigger, and I'll get into my watch list in a minute here. For it to trigger, it'll have to, well, if it stays above the high of Friday, it could trigger. But it's starting to drift down. So, yeah, this one was shortable also for me. I didn't see it. So I do see, sure it's the right name. Yeah, so it's trading higher after encouraging data. However, it is absolutely not holding its gains at all. Not yet, anyway. Wanted to get up to 628 pre-market, so it's dropped $1 already. It's almost gone, flat. All right, let me see if there's anything else sneaking in here before the market opens. All right, so just want to draw your attention to these three windows right here. So if you want to follow my watch list up and down, you don't want to have my entire layout, you just want to follow these, then if you click on, from the toolbar, click on New, Channel Bar, and my watch list right here, okay? So This window, you'll start to get some alerts right when the market opens. These two windows are purposely delayed until 9:45. Doesn't mean we'll get anything right at 9:45, but nothing will happen before then. I just like to see the market settle down a little bit before I start to get things on my watch list. I typically, personally, do not trade typically in the first 15 minutes. So Sky, it sounds like this could be one of these filling. NYSE is making us contact all of our customers and having them fill out forms to ensure that they're not professionals. You're probably not a professional, but we've got to go through this exercise. So that's probably the reason. So if I send you, I'm going to send you to our homepage, and you can have them take a look at your account, okay? And that might be the reason. I'm going to give you the homepage link. When you go there, make sure you give them the email address you use to sign up with Trade Ideas so that they can take a look at your account. More than likely, that is the reason. I saw a plug had a downgrade this morning. Razak, I think we're having a buffering issue with YouTube, or are we fine? I know you're in every morning, so you can let me know. I think there's an issue. I don't know what the cause is. Give me a moment here, please. What time is it? 9:26. Okay. What do I think of an IR? Well, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Susan, you saw the news. I mean, it doesn't look good for them. The news is that unless they get a better reimbursement rates from, I'd want to say Medicare or Medicaid, whatever you guys call it down there, they're not happy with whatever rates they're getting if they can't renegotiate. Whether this continues down, I don't know. I mean, it is obviously just getting devastated right now. It's a super low float for an $87 stock, 28 million. You know, that's the issue. You got to be really careful with it. Just give me one moment, please. So as always, you know, Susan, anybody else wondering, I mean, you just have to wait for the market to open to see what is really going to happen. Will there be some kind of a bounce? Is this a tremendous overreaction to it? Or, you know, can it continue down? I mean, of course it can. I mean, with the next level, so it's way below here, the next level of support on that weekly chart looks like around 70. So, I mean, in theory, it could keep going down, but man, it is just getting hit on that news. So this is what we're talking about. This is the reason it's down. The company said it will not be able to provide its Zio XT device to Medicare patients if Reimbursement rates remain unchanged. So there it is. Alex. Jason, are you on a month-to-month? If you wanted to upgrade, yeah. All right, guys. What time is it right now? 9:20. Wow, the market's going to open now. Caught me by surprise. Okay, I've got some issues with our YouTube feed, so trying to figure out what is going on. Okay, so I'm just looking quickly here. Not a lot of action here. I mean, this little compare count had nothing happening until just a second ago, a minute, well, maybe a minute ago. All right, so this is now turning into, as we speak anyways, this is not shortable for me, WHLM turning into, but it's so early, a gap up and reverse, but it's early. It is very early. That's why I typically don't like trading in the first 15 minutes. You know, we get things that are very, very whippy in the first 15. See how the trade of the week is doing. TGB is, well, there's your trigger. You don't have to take it right now. You don't have to ever take it, but the suggested entry was 186. So how you handle it will be up to you, of course. All right, well, this is a gap down and keep going down. This is APHA. This is an earnings play, APHA, and you can see right now the reaction is not good, APHA. I mean, the reaction, you know, pre-market wasn't good, but it is continuing to be weak. And this is dragging Tilray down with it. Tilray, of course, is merging with APHA, so this is dragging down TLRY with it. Wow, look at FBIO, guys. Big. Look at how much volume is coming into FBIO. So, again, a bit of a difficult intraday trader, but boy, what a nice, well, 3 days now, 4 days now it's having, from 4 to 6. So remember I was just talking about WHLM? Remember it looked like it was starting to fade and it popped right back up. WHLM. So this is, I mean, this is, you know, 3 million in the float. Wow, anything could happen. I know I say that, but it's true. Look left. High is about around $13 over here. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to call it Model Sporting Goods. It's either Model or... if it's Art Model, as in NFL, then it is Model. Sporting Goods, disclosing an 18% stake in the company. And it is what we call severe rippage right now. It could get halted. PBTS starting to fade here. Not shortable for me. PBTS is not shortable for me. It's a gap up and moving down. You guys good now, Razak? The streaming, the buffering has been solved. I didn't do anything. I'm talking to somebody in our YouTube room. MUDS. This MUDS, MUDS. So this is a SPAC that is going to basically Topps, the baseball cards, and other sports, but baseball cards, I guess that's what Topps is really known for. Going to be merging into MUDS, going public. We might have to live with it for today, Razak. Unfortunately, it's possible I'd have to do a reboot of my system, and I don't really want to do that. So, apologize. I don't know why. I've done nothing differently. Launching this morning, do it the same way. It said I had a good connection to begin with, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Let's see, are my charts updating? I'm not having an issue, Rubber. And I would tell you, yeah, I'm not having an issue, not yet anyway. DMAC, no kidding, long time no see is for sure. All right, so Muzz is starting to give it up a little bit here, but again, it is early. Oh, guys, WHLM is ripping now. So WHLM, look at that float. Not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers. So I've been told that the buffer is, maybe it's a bit of an annoyance, but it is not the end of the world. Is that correct? You people who are on YouTube watching me? Watching the screen, listening to me. And of course, I'll be watching for my unusually strong options window to see what sort of alerts we get today from it. We don't get too many, and nothing will happen in these two windows until at least 9:45. If you're wondering what this AGC is here, this is this test swing that I've held for about 4 days now. This is in the simulator. So let's see. Yeah, it might turn into one if it takes out the high. It has to take out the high. Because it looks like, yeah, the volume is good. And the percent is good. Relative volume is good. It's the volume right now. It's just a little bit light once that hits 500,000 shares. For me, in this scanner, you guys, of course, can modify it if that's what you want to do. But for me, all right, Playboy. Wow, look at this Playboy on the way down. PLBY, big gap up in the pre-market. Market opens, and there is some selling. PLBY. You're asking me why? There's no reason. Okay, Jason. Sorry, I don't know. Hopefully you can. Okay, you can hear me now. So yeah, I can pop the promo code in for you. Okay, go to my home page, and when you go there, this is what you'll see. You'll see the promo code. Okay, yeah. So it's the problem with YouTube for me is that when I post that link, so forget that. There's the link, okay, to my home page. Here we go. Okay, so disregard this first one. Yeah, on the way down now, WHL, and that's why, you guys, I mean, you got to be awfully careful with these low floats. 3.2 million in the float. Yeah, it's wonderful when you're in it and they're moving higher, but you cannot take your eye off it if you're in it, because this is exactly what can happen. Lots of fun when they're going up, not so much fun when they're going down and you're still in it. ATNF, let's take a look at ATNF, see what's happening with it. ATNF. Yeah, well, there was no resistance, so again, this is not, it's not an IPO. It looks like an IPO. It is not an IPO, but there's no resistance. So when you say 1468, I have no idea. I mean, it could go anywhere. I mean, there's no resistance. You look at the chart. It looks like an all-time high. All right, this looks like, okay, this one just got halted. Boy, this could do some serious damage. So this looks like this is an IPO last month, or was this a? No, okay, so it's definitely not a SPAC. So this is an IPO of last month, and it just got halted. Okay, as you were. Oh, I see. I didn't. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't even see this one. This came into my options play. So ATNF at 1232. Okay, well let's. Okay, I'm just going to stick an alert up at that price and see if it gets up there. And there's the XO. Remember I said the XO would show up once if it took out the high, which it did briefly. It had to get over 500,000 shares. That is one of the filters I have for XO. So, but, briefly did it. What's the market doing? All right, the only way I'm going to take this, obviously it has to get back up over 7, so I'm just going to stick a price alert up here and see if it does that. Wow. Okay, so there's the ATNF back up to this level. I mean, look, it's got no resistance. So where it could go, I mean, there's the high. It hit 1255. But it is still pretty whippy. Very, very whippy. Yeah, I'm hearing XTNT ringing in my ear here. XTNT. So what do we see? Looking left on that weekly chart, we see a high of 360. So it's got some room to that weekly high, 360. It's at 311 right now. I do know that, Sam. Hopefully, some are saying that it's not as bad as it was this morning. Nothing I can do about it right now. I don't know if there is one, if there is a symbol for models. I didn't see it, Rob. Models, okay. As in art model. Well, it's okay. It's okay. They're totally aware of it. Just nothing I can really do about it. I'd probably have to reboot my computer. I just don't want to do that. So. All right, so nothing showing up in my watch list up or down yet. PJ. If I had my druthers, PJ, I'd be doing sports talk radio. All right, keep an eye on this EKSO. If it regains 7, Okay, give me a moment, please. Yeah, so Rob, again, I don't know if Modell's is a public company. It doesn't sound like it is. Usually when you see the news, there they give the symbol if it is a public company, so I don't think it is. Boy, AFA is still weak, guys. APHA is still weak, challenging that whole number 14. And there it is actually showing up on my watch list down. All right, let me just do a quick look to see early on what the indexes are doing. So SPY's down a little, Dow's down a little, NAS is down. So all the indices are down so far. It is early. Yeah, I know, Omar, I know. So listen, anybody in the YouTube room, you can always come over to the trading room, like what I call the main trading room. Here's a link for it, okay? So you can always go over there. I just popped the link. TI trading room, okay? This is what you see. It's it's a lot more active, more traders, more interactivity, easier for me to hand out links. I think yeah, it's easier. Go to YouTube. It's easier. If they don't really care about a lot of, they just want to hear me and see the screen. It's an easy way to do it. Oh my goodness! Just a minute, please. Whoa, guys! I'm sorry. This is you know why I'm putting this up. Wow. Keep adding rooms to the Holiday Mansion. In all seriousness, I mean, I just couldn't do it, guys. I mean, but it's my wife's company, Stantec, and they've just been on. Doesn't trade very much in the U.S. It doesn't actually trade that much in Canada. But my goodness, what a run! Infrastructure play, and they're just. And the employee stock purchase plan is treating us very nicely. Man. Anyway. Yeah, look at Muds. Wow, look at Muds. Yeah, for sure, Sam. I don't know what your wife's stock is, but okay. IKNA was halted because of volatility, and now it is opened. Sorry, it is not open. It got halted because of volatility. After being halted at 938, it opened and then it got halted again. I'm glad I got it worked out for you, Sky. Was that what it was? Just the agreements? You had done it, but for some reason, we sort of have an auto, like a program that supposedly is supposed to, once the agreements are done, it's supposed to automatically connect you. But, like any well, I don't know if maybe that's the glitch. IKNA, let's see where there's stacking up to be. 2464, 2464. So no big change. No big change. Okay, so David, it might be the same thing, okay? Apologize for this. This is driving our company crazy with this NYSE nonsense. So if you go to the home page, I don't know if you disregarded an email that said you had to fill out the NYSE forms to show that you're not a professional, even though you've done them before. We had to redo them all, every one of our customers. So if you go to the home page, give them your email. Okay, if I don't know 100% if that's the issue, but that's probably the issue. And then they can look up your account and hopefully turn you on, okay? All right, so FBIO, pretty good short so far from the AI. But I keep a real close eye on it. It can be very whippy. Well, typically what happens is they don't come into this room. They contact us at info@trade-ids.com, and that's what happens typically. Believe me, we get the emails through there saying, hey, what's happened to our account, my account. You have no idea what a pain it's been for us to handle this. That the imposition that the NYSE has put on not just ourselves but other companies too. It's not just us, of course, but what a hassle. Well, Jane, that's a tough one for me to answer because I'd have to, you're going to have to send your trading log. You're talking about a delta of 3. You're talking about $3? $3 under? Or you're going to have to send, it's impossible for me to know. You would have to send your log. If you click on if you click on help and send files to support and send the file, because it's impossible for me to know. All right, so the market is starting off weak so far. There's a red bar. Had a little green bar. Now we have a red bar on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, I'm seeing weakness in virtually. Well, let's take a look at the spider. Actually, it's interesting. Look at the spider sector list. Okay, so anything in blue means it's up for the day. You know, it's above Friday's close. It may not be like hugely above, but I mean that's like 0.2%. So I mean nothing. So in yellow means it's down for the day. You know, with the market being down, but we do have. So what sectors? So utilities, typically utilities do well on a down day. Anything else standing out? So the banks, ETFs, the ETFs for some of the banks. These are this is a regional ETF, KBE. This is the big one, XLF. Now the banks release this week. The big guys release earnings this week. Take a look at Goldman Sachs, who releases on the 14th, pre-market. So that'll be Wednesday before the market opens. Citigroup, the day after. See, Morgan Stanley, I think most of the big banks, most of the big banks open this week or are releasing earnings this week. And JP Morgan, I'm almost sure they open or they release this week too, yes. And then Alcoa, of course, as a ahead of earnings, so it's not Alcoa releases. And then next week we'll get a ton of companies releasing. Okay, give me a moment, please. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So right now, bounce plays a little bit suspect unless we get a turn in the SPY. Okay. All right, so what did AFA do? AFA is, well, so this did have a little bit of a bounce. AFA, APHA, had a bit of a bounce. Chile Ray probably did the same. Of course, they're merging with AFA, or vice versa. I guess AFA is merging into Tilray. Is AC open? It is not open according... No, it is not open. ACY is not open. IKNA has been all over the place. IKNA. Well, it's hard to know, Jane. I mean, until it opens, you know, it's hard to know. You can't get it now. You have to wait and see once it opens. Again, you know, I can't make any recommendation like that on anything really, but you have to understand too, I'm not just to you, Jane, but I mean 1.2 million in the float, that is an insanely low number. Anything can happen. You know, it can be so whippy up and down, so you have to be very careful. The only thing is, it is, let's see, 11.16 is the high on the Friday. I guess if it takes that out. But, you know, if you're going to do this, my recommendation is to not take very many shares because it'll be, and they're just resumed. And, you know, you couldn't get it. It just popped. There's no way you could get it. You know, I mean, it just opened and it could potentially get halted again. So at this point, so a few days ago, that would have been on the 7th. What was the high? Up to 15. And a lot of volume coming in. Really, you can't short it because, well, Zach can't hear me. There are shorts available at Interactive Brokers. Actually, they just disappeared. They just disappeared. Yeah, it's very scary, guys. Awfully enticing when you see this move, but just remember, the reverse can happen in a heartbeat. I mean, it's going to get halted again. And there it did. Just got halted again. No, I don't have a crystal ball, but you just have to look at the action. I mean, in a 2-minute chart, chart, and you get such a big price increase, you know, that's typically, you can almost rest assured it'll be halted. And it's a volatility halt. In case you wonder what I'm talking about, it's a volatility halt. It's just literally a program kicks in and halts it. It's not a news halt. And typically, they are 5 minutes long. Look how whippy this one. Again, this is not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers. I'm talking about WHLM. Look how whippy this one was. Right up to 10, right down to 786. Got up to 1045 on that opening candle. And then reality sets in. For a while anyway. I mean, it could bounce back. But at this point, you know, I'd be really thinking about shorting more than going long. And the bounces, yeah, highly suspect right now. Till we get the SPY starting to move, you know, 2 or 3 green candles, and I think your bounces are going to be very, very minor, if at all. Well, there'll be some, but they'll be pretty minor. No, I know there are no shorts, WHALM. So what this is it's comparing two alert windows. One alert window, they're competing. One alert window with more filters in place, but the movers to the upside greater than 300,000 shares versus the movers to the downside with greater than 300,000 shares. There are some other filters in place, so it's like taking two strategies, kind of mirror images, okay, and comparing them. So right now, you can tell right now, look at this, I mean 90% are to the downside versus 10% to the upside. So it's nothing to do with it's just two competing alert windows. That make sense? Now you could do it. I mean, you could take any alert window and duplicate it, flip it, so that you have the kind of the competing look, if that makes sense, and then put them in and compare them and just see, kind of let them spar with each other. Well, no. There are other filters in place too, Bill. It's not just any stock. I have a price range. I mean, just to break out. You know, so here's my price range, 50 cents, minimum 300, but the volume the last minute, 300%. Stock has to be up 2%. Number of alerts is 25, so it has to have made at least 25 new highs. So this is on the upside, and if I flip it, you would see new lows, new pre-market lows, where the stock was down 2%. Okay, so it would compare this to if I flip the strategy to that, if that makes sense. So it's not just 300,000 shares. Make sense? It's an interesting way to gauge what the market's doing, you know, with those filters in place. Yeah, so you could take earnings plays example. You could take your earnings plays that are up versus the earnings plays that are down. You know, in an alert window. I could have done it here. You know, this is the basic new highs moving up. This is the basic new highs moving down. I could have created a compare count for this as an example. You could do it within a sector, for instance. You could take, the energy sector. And, you know, we have a symbol list for the energy sector as an example. So you could take the energy sector and you could say, okay, with certain filters in place, show me the ones that are up versus the ones that are down as a ticker. Look at TCS, guys. This is just, man, this had a big pop. The Container Store, look at the pop it had, and then boy, it's not a crazy low float, only 30 million in the float, but it's not crazy low. Wow. Just one moment, please. So here's a bunch of infrastructure plays, guys. ACOM, here's ACM. This has been on a tear also. Okay, guys, keep an eye on EKSO. I mean, I'm not well. Let's see what. Yeah, you see, I should have looked at this too. Look at EKSO. I mean, look at all the resistance. Not that far away, just over. Well, not quite, just over 7, but we have a high right there of 752, a high of 753, a high of 745, 743, 730, and 737. So we got a lot of resistance right here for EKSO. So it doesn't have, even if it gets back over that 7, it doesn't have a ton of room unless it can really, really break out of here. I'm going to stick an alert at 750 and see if it really wants to take this out. It's a low float. So if it does take that out, then it has a chance, you know, to really start to fill in this void. So, I mean, it's coming from my option play, or my option scanner. Yeah, look at BCTX. Somebody asked me in the pre-market about what about BCTX, and you know my standard answer is always going to be we got to let the market open, see what happens. You know, there's absolutely no way to know if something that is gapping up on the pre-market is going to continue once the market opens. We see this a lot though, especially with the well, this is not a bio. Well, it looks like it's a bio. I don't know why it's in the all other non-metallic metal. What do they do? Yeah, my grouping is way off on this. But in the day we used to call this the bio fizzle. You know, some of these little bios, they announce some news that looks pretty good. Pre-market traders get all excited. Market opens and it just fizzles. See, this is not a bio, but I mean, look at the fizzle on this one, PBTS. It's almost just gone or just basically flat now after being way up here. And just as I'm speaking, again, no shorts available for me for the PBTS. Phase 1, phase 2, yeah. Okay, now the only thing I can say about ACY is that, you know, if it somehow took out 1351, it may give a shot. I'm just looking at the high of the bodies of these two candles. But again, it's very low float, 1.2 million in the float, so be very, very careful. Market is kind of flattened out. The SPY is just kind of flattened out now. Look at this right here. So there's not really a direction right now. I mean, market's down, of course, but there is a bit of a rally taking place. The Qs were down a little bit more earlier. So there's a bit of a rally taking place right now, especially with tech. So and the KTX, it just got halted. Yes, another. Yeah, it's a low float, 33 million. It's not crazy low, but it is low. And they announced the initiation of pivotal phase 3 trial. Yes, JB just posted that. All right, guys, I think what I'll do is do our little introduction for people who are brand new to the room. Welcome, big welcome. This is the format, Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I share my screen and am live on the mic. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting IPO this week, coin. Now, I do apologize, those of you following me in YouTube. I'm not sure if the buffering issue has been cleared up. I know there was a buffering issue. And hopefully tomorrow it won't happen. I'm just going to put my home page in here. All right, so in this trading room right here, the main trading room, you can find my tab, Barry's homepage, called Barry's homepage. If you click on it, this is what you'll see. You'll see a link to my homepage. And I'm just going to go over the information that is on my homepage, including how you can take out a subscription. So here's a promo code you can use, Barry4Alpha, for 15% off the first month only or the entire year. This is how much Trade Ideas costs. We have 4 plans. We have an annual, monthly for premium and standard. Premium is $22.68 a year minus that 15%. Standard is $10.68 a year minus the 15%. The big difference between premium and standard, the usual reason why people want to take a look at our premium service is for the AI. Okay? You do not have to take out an annual subscription. You want to go month to month, that's fine. So standard is $118, premium is $228. You can apply that discount to the first month only. Okay, so that 15% discount is good for the first month only on a monthly subscription. If you maintain a month to month, the second month it'll be $118 and $228. Okay, so don't want anybody to get upset when they see their next month and ask why. That's the reason. More information on my homepage. From my homepage, Trade of the Week is sent to you before the market opens every Monday morning. I don't know what I'm going to do today, but the stock of the day, I do a stock of the day video right around noon. I think this is probably one of the more important sections of my homepage are all the scans that I'm sharing. It's week, TTM. I actually tried to short this one, but I couldn't get a fill. It's down more than 10%. And I left my order in at the bid for about 30 seconds and they wouldn't fill me. There are shorts available, but again, this uptick rule, if you're unfamiliar with it, if a stock is down 10%, then if you go in at the bid, trying to short something, as long as your broker has shorts and it's not down 10%, you'll probably get an instant fill. If it is down 10% or more, then what has to happen is there has to be some action, some buying at the ask, and then it comes back to the bid. But you may be in a big queue of people wanting to do the same thing. Whoa, look at this one, TIRX, T-Rex, sort of. Oh my goodness, if this holds, guys, this has just got halted on the way down. What I'm saying is if this holds, I'm seeing a bid ask of 35. I mean, okay, now it popped up to 65. Well, popped up 65.58, 65.58, but initially I was seeing 35. This is almost should be like a news halt also. I mean, that's a huge downturn. China stock. I'm sure somebody will be able to dig up. I can't see in my headlines why this is a gap down, but something has hit this. And this is what I'm talking about, 65. This is from Interactive Brokers. A projected open is like 65.58. Okay, but initially all I saw was the 35, and then this popped up. Again, this doesn't have to hold, but this gives you a bit of an idea what may happen. This was not shortable for me anyway at Interactive Brokers, but something. Something. I'm surprised there's no news halt with it now too. All right, CUEN just resumed. However, this is short-lived. Well, it's very, 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 very frothy right now. You can see that topping tail, then the bottoming tail. Yeah, TTM is just in drift mode. I just got frustrated. I couldn't get it where I wanted. TTM on the short. So there is some choppiness in the market. You can see the SPY. A little bit choppy right now. It looked like it was going to move down, move back up. So, if your stock that you're in kind of follows the market, then it's tough. Not a decent trend right now. My advice is, don't get anxious to trade. If you don't see something that's setting up well, meeting your plan, then back off. Just back off. Sometimes you can make more money by not getting into a trade, if that makes sense. Well, Bernd, you might be right, but I also saw that BABA this morning, huge fine, but, I don't know, can't remember what it was, $3 billion or whatever, 5% or 4% of last year's revenue they paid as a fine. And that seemed to, well, obviously it put a charge into BABA. We all learned that the hard way, Bruce. I mean, I was exactly the same. It's very. You think, well, I've got to do something. This is kind of what I want to say do for a living. I'm not talking me personally. I'm just talking, projecting what everybody might think about themselves. I've got to get into a trade. I've got to do it. But man, you can really spend a lot of money doing that. Dribs and drabs, but those dribs and drabs eventually start to add up just because you feel you've got to be in a trade. Still don't see any news on it, on the TIRX. Other than the fact, of course, that it's been halted, but I don't see any news on it. So there you go, guys. I mean, there's the CUEN. It's obviously not, I shouldn't say obviously, but I mean, rarely do you see these sort of pops hold. It'd be nice to see one, sometimes when they don't all have to keep ripping higher, but just rest a bit and, move up. Rarely do we see this on parabolic moves. Trick is to, try to figure out where the top might be. Yeah, this is a very, very low float. I mean, very low float. 3.9 million in the float for a stock that was up to $100. I mean, that's insanely low. And I guess they did their, yeah, they must have done their IPO back here. Well, I hope, Randy, the breakfast was good, at least. All right, here's another one that is popping, MOSY. Again, this is not shortable. This is not shortable for me at Interactive Brokers, but it is popping, MOS. Yeah, what it means is, well, it's okay. The short answer would be this: a computer program kicks in if a stock goes up too much in a certain period of time. A program kicks in and it halts the stock, and it usually is a 5-minute halt. And so, yeah, during the time of the halt, there are no buys and sells. It's almost like a timeout, a breather. Okay, most of the halts are 5 minutes. You notice here, AKTX, it got halted at 10:16:52. Most of them are 5, but this was a 10-minute halt. Okay, and it's halted because of volatility. There's your answer or your reason. Okay, and you know, we will get news halts also. But most of the halts that show up in my halts resumes are because of volatility. And again, typically, they are 5-minute halts. Look at the IKNA down here. Got halted at 9:57 plus 26 seconds. It opened 10:02, exactly 5 minutes later. If it's not a 5-minute halt, then usually they are multiples of 5. So in this case, this was a 10-minute halt. You know, the ACY. You know, from 10:16 to 10:26. You can see right off, you can see here, the TIRX. See, this is why I'm surprised there's not another halt reason coming into play right now, like a news halt. So, because it's 11:06, so obviously this is not. I mean, it's already 11:16, so it's going to be more than a 10-minute halt. I know, Bernd. I know. There is a problem with, so if you want to head over to our main room, you can do so. It's easy to get in, okay? I don't know why there's a buffering problem in our YouTube room. I really don't know. Hopefully that won't happen tomorrow. It may get resolved if I just do a complete reboot of my system, but I don't want to do that. So, but you can always head over to this room here, okay? This is what I call the main trading room. Oh, there you go. You're in. Okay. Yeah, I know. Getting into YouTube is a lot easier, but hey, it's nice to have a backup. Sometimes not often, but sometimes this room might go down. So at least we have, you know, our YouTube room too. So. You're already in, novice. You're in the you're already here. Nothing for you to do. This is the main trading room. I call it the main trading room. Number one, there are more people in the room. Easier for me to. You're in the main trading room, novice. So you don't have to worry. Easier for me to hand out links. There's more interactivity among traders. So Brian, you sent me a. I wonder how people get my email, but that's okay. Brian, can you listen to me? Can you hear me? Brian C., you sent me an email. I mean, all I can say is, on my homepage, there are those intro videos. I would take a look at them. I don't know if you're in the room, so I'll just pop that link in for you. This is an email that was directed to me. Hello, Hussein. Yeah, Mosey was halted. Yes, I'm just give me a second here, guys. All right. Yeah, so Mosey did get halted. Yes, it did get halted, and this could be a good open if you were lucky enough to get in before the halt. There is some resistance right around 480, looks like. But right now, not shortable for me, but right now is stacking up to be 472, 474, 474, 474 on the open, if that holds. I mean, there's no guarantee. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is from Interactive Brokers, okay? Nothing to do with trade ideas. Most brokers will have something exactly like this. This is just time and sales. So this is what I look at. People ask, well, what is it stacking up? This is what they're referring to. See how this changes. No guarantee it's going to open here, but at least it gives you an idea. If you're in this, you wouldn't want to see like $4, okay? You want to see something above. If you're in this already, you want to see something above the halt price. Okay, so Hussein, when you say guide you how? You're in the trading room. If you have, I don't know if you're brand new to trading. If you're brand new to trading, I have some links for you. I don't know if you're brand new to trade ideas. I have some links for you. So I need a little more information. So when you talk about guiding, give me a moment, please. All right, I'm back. Well, I didn't read the news on Nuon other than I know I see that it has dropped about $4. I don't know. You have to see if it's a cash, if it's cash only or if it's stock and cash. You know, I didn't actually see what it. I mean, this is Microsoft confirming. So you have to really read it. It says at $56 a share. It's an all-cash transaction. Okay. Now, whether it closes or not is another thing. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, the SEC likes to get involved. So other than that, I really can't. You know, I mean, you just have to read this. But the key thing is an all-cash transaction. So it's not. All you can do is just see, well, like, what sort of alerts are you getting from it. I'm just not good enough at these Bollinger Band breaks and all that. I'm relying on his scan and kind of watch it. Yeah, I think the reason is you didn't ask that question on Friday, did you? Was it you or somebody else? Yeah. So again, I think it's just because I didn't make the change. I think one is change from the open. Okay, change from the open. Like I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, I mean if you want to change it, I mean there's nothing absolutely magical about the filters that I put in here. So one was a change from the open, one was a change from the close. So yeah, so this is from the open. So these two are from the open. You know, if you wanted to take these and change them to the close, go ahead, or change this to the open. Like I wouldn't get too worked up. No, I know you're not getting worked up, but that's the reason. I think this is what I'm sharing. Right here, click on my homepage tab right here. And when you do that, this is what you'll see. And then there is an education section right here. And so, again, new to trade ideas, this is great, the 20 lessons. And then, the daily support, fine. I'm going to be taking a break in about 15 minutes. You can head over to YouTube. And Sean will be there between 12 and 1. The daily webinars, Monday to Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. But I think this is what you were talking. We do have some more educational videos, but this is what I was really talking about. If you are brand new to trading, back to basics right here. Okay, LA, I see your comment in the YouTube room. Well, we certainly do both at Trade Ideas, long term. No, maybe not 2 years. I'm sorry, long term, you're new to trading. But certainly, we do have a program that is really good for intraday trading too. I will pop that link in here before I go on my. Well, I'll put it in right now. And the other thing you can do, Pasha and anybody else, is just save my link. Save my homepage link so you can take a look at everything more or less at your leisure. All those education links, all the scans that I'm sharing. So you don't have to, do it. You don't have to, madly do it while you're in this trading room. I call it YouTube 12 to 1 because I don't take a break. My break is usually from about 12 to 12:40. There were no shorts available, no, at Interactive Brokers for this one. Continuing down. Oops. So LA, you can take a look at my homepage. I say a lot of information is there. There you go, Pasha. All right, guys, man, I am going to be hard pressed to find a trade of the day, the stock of the day, or whatever I'm calling that. What am I calling that now? Yeah, stock of the day. It's I have made one little trade on my own, and that's about it. But nothing, believe me, nothing great. Meanwhile, let's take a look. I mean, I haven't really been able to pay attention to anything that's come out of my watch list today. 24.26. I guess that would have been pretty good. 25.90 got up to 25.90. So from 24.26, that little blue arrow right there, that's telling you the candle, which the alert happened on the 2-minute chart right there, on the 5-minute chart right there, on the 15-minute chart. So you can kind of go back in time and say, okay, at 10:22, had an alert, the price was 24.26. What did it do afterwards? It wasn't bad. I mean, in fact, it was excellent. All the way up to 25.96, probably a bit of a tough spread. I don't think the Playboy, I should have been paying way more attention. Look at Playboy. 29.94 got up to 32.67. But again, this is, I can't pay the attention that you guys who are not doing what I'm doing can. Actually, this has been, watch list has been pretty good. 11.44, it's 11.66 now. This probably was the one that didn't work. Very briefly it worked. So on the short side, we had fix at 727. Hasn't really moved. PSAC. And wow, this is a tremendous one. Not shortable for me, unfortunately, at Interactive Brokers. But 1408, it's at 1328 right now. This one probably is not, it was shortable. 432, it got down to 4. This one I tried to short, they just wouldn't give it to me. That uptick rule nailed me. 1898 got down to 1863, so modest. Fubo 2138, what did it get down to? 2107. Yeah, this one I don't think. AFA, well, AFA could have. AFA APHA, what did it get down to? Yeah, so had some moves in the certainly PSAC and TTM. Yeah, that's who a lot of people are talking about, Centerpoint Securities. If you're really into making sure, I mean, I think they probably have a good. I don't get too upset with IB. I'm not even sure Centerpoint is available in Canada. I don't know that for sure. Boy, Muds is actually pretty good from this alert. 1144 had a pullback and then really popping again. Almost an all-time high again on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So on Tuesday had the big news that they will be taking Topps public. Topps, known for its baseball cards, is historically known for its baseball cards. And so the all-time high was 1178. It's almost there. And TIRX just resumed. Very surprised that the SEC has not stepped in. Just got halted again on the way up, but very surprised they have not stepped in and said, okay, enough of this. We're going to halt you. And you have to tell us why, what's happening. They'll probably say, we have no idea of the recent volatility, but obviously something going on. Yeah, 4022 is what I see. It's 40 now, 39.52 that it's sacking up. And this is just for entertainment purposes, really. I mean, there's nothing, most of us cannot short this one. I shouldn't say that. Interactive Brokers has no shorts, but I think I've heard other people saying no shorts available either. But, even if they were available, I mean, it's a risky business. I mean, 3.9 million in the float for a now a $48 stock. I mean, that thing could pop $10 before it drops $10. So, what are you going to do? Where's your stop?
Hello, everybody. We'll get started with the live Q&A in just a second. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's your boy, Chicago Sean McLaughlin. It's the top of the hour. It's Monday. Welcome to the live Q&A. This is your chance to ask any questions you have about the software. Whether it's expert level or beginner, it's no mind. As I tell everybody, I know enough to be dangerous, but I don't know the answer to everything, but I can certainly point you in the right direction. So, this next hour is unscripted. I do not have any prepared content to discuss. That's not the point. This is an open forum. So if you have questions of any kind, type them into the chat panel there on your YouTube screen, and we will tackle them as best we can. Hello, Ron. Hello, Burned Durwalker. Boy, I hope I said that right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I sure did. The bull market is still running unabated. If I stretch out my S&P 15-minute chart here, I mean, look at this since Thursday. Since Thursday midday, it's just been a slow grind higher. That's what steady accumulation looks like. If you've never seen it, that's textbook right there. Always good to hear my upbeat voice. Well, great. Hey, look, we got to be upbeat, right? Applying our craft in the markets, we're some of the luckiest people in the world, right? Our job is hard, but I wouldn't do anything else. Isan, you're trying to set up a scan for stocks that are passing the previous day's high. Can you help me out? Well, sure. There's a couple of options. If you're looking for a scan, we use the words scan and top list interchangeably. So we could certainly build a top list that shows you stocks that are above yesterday's high. And the way we create a top list from scratch is we go to our TI menu bar, we hit new, we choose top list window, and I'm going to hit start from scratch up here in the upper left. And then I'm going to move to the search tab, and this is where all the magic happens. Okay? You'll notice if I scroll through here, there are hundreds of filters available to you. I don't expect you to hunt and peck scrolling through here looking for precisely what you need. The best thing to do is use the search terms box. And so for this particular scan, you're looking for stocks that are above yesterday's high. So I typed in position here because I'm looking for my position and range filters. We have a variety of position and range filters, but the one in this case you're going to want to use is position in previous day's range. Okay, so you're going to use this filter, highlight it, hit add filter. And then it shows up here, and by the way, we just moved over a tab to the Windows specific filters tab. Once I was here and hit add filter, that just brings me over to this window. Now, the position in the previous day's range, minimum. On the minimum side, we want to set this to 100. All right? This means that the stock is above yesterday's range. Okay? So if I hit the little show me button right here, this will kind of show me in plain English what I've done. And here it is. Show me stocks where the price is at least 100% above the low of this range. So they're talking about yesterday's low versus yesterday's high. Trust me, this works. If you set the minimum to 100, this will show you all stocks above yesterday's high. Now, if you want to get alerted to when a stock breaks the previous day's high, you would use an alert window, not a top list. So let's do this. Let's go into my TI menu bar. Let's go to new and create an alert window. Same process here where I'm starting from scratch, and then I go to the search tab. And in this case, I want new high. Well, it's right there at the top. I didn't even need to type it in. It's right there, new high. Hit add alert. And in the qualifier box right here, this is where you describe the new high you're looking for. If you set this to 1, this will show you a new one-day high. So if it's a higher price than yesterday, you'll get alerted. If I set this to 20, this will show me a 20-day high. If I leave it empty, it'll show me an intraday high. Okay? And I also have to make sure I check this box, put the check box there, put that to 1, And that will send me a real-time alert the moment a stock that meets my filter requirements makes a new one-day high. Isan, I hope that was instructional to you. I hope that answered your question. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know. Just type them in there and I'll do my best to tackle it. Bear with me 1 second. My screen's going to go black. I'm just setting up some music over here so that I don't go crazy when it's quiet. There we go. Now we're back. Sorry about that. I'm a music guy. Gotta have music playing in the background. You might not hear it. Hopefully you don't hear it. Hopefully it's not distracting. You might not like what I'm listening to. That's all right too. All right, Isan, looks like your question got answered, so that is great. Bernd. All right, I got you, Bernd. I don't know about you guys, but I got my first vaccine last week, so I'm pretty excited about things starting to get back to normal around here. Still too early, but or still too early for the all clear, but things are pointing in the right direction. It makes me happy. Hopefully you can get on the road again soon and meet some of you beautiful people in person. All right, so while I'm waiting for some questions, I'm going to do what I often do on the Monday Q&A sessions. I'm going to go through and update my stops on all of my open positions. So you can see here in my Brokerage Plus window, I have a number of swing trades on. These are trades I've been in for several days, several weeks, a couple months in some cases. These are trades that I got in. These are trades that Holly traded as an intraday trader, but I use Holly to inform great swing trade candidates. But these are my existing trades, so I'm just going to click on each chart. You can see on a daily chart up here, you can see where my stop loss level is. You can clearly see that this my stop loss level is at 68.16, and this minus 12.02 tells me what my P&L will be on that trade if my stop gets hit. I'm currently sitting on open profits of $458. But if this stock were to roll over and hit my stop loss, I'll walk away with a $12 loss. But you know what? I'm going to drag my stop loss order up and check this out. If you guys haven't seen this before, if you're using Brokerage Plus to trade, it's so easy to drag and drop your stop loss orders. For a visual trader like me, this is an invaluable tool. I'm super visual. And I'm looking at my chart and thinking, okay, well, it looks like this low that we had, this intraday low on Thursday, looks like a good support level. I'm going to drag my stop loss order up there. So all I do is drag this line or grab this line and just drag it up. Look at that. And now my stop loss level is working at 71.72. And if it were to get hit, I'd walk away with a $194 profit. How simple was that, guys? Right? There's no science behind my stops. I've been a trader for 23 years. I'm very visual. I just like to look for obvious levels of support. And if a stock breaks those levels of support, I'm out. Or in this case with Twitter, I've got a nice little profit going. You can see this horizontal blue line where it says B plus in the margins. That shows you my entry price. Approximately, it shows you where I got in. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag this up to break even because I've been in, it's got a nice profit. I don't want to turn this trade into a complete loss. That's no good. So I'm going to drag my stop loss up there. Approximately, I'll walk away with a $2 loss. No big deal. All right, so I'm just going to go through the rest of these pretty quickly here, dragging my stops in the order, in the direction of the move. That's what I always do. That's a best practice. I never move my stops lower. And by the way, these are all long swing trades. I like to swing trade from the long side. That's my preference. So some of these stops I'm not going to move, but some of them I am. I'm going to drag this one up here. I like that level right there. Okay, good. So guys, if you're managing a portfolio here through Brokerage Plus, you can see how easy it is to manage your open positions. I'm going to drag this one to break even since we got a nice little pop today. There we go, great. That's good. That one's coming back. That's good. I'm going to drag this up to my entry price. There we go. So guys, this is how I manage a book of long swing trades, by the way. This is how I do it. Now, by the way, you may have noticed, some of you who are sharp eyes might have noticed here in the Brokerage Plus window that I am in the simulated trader. This is not real money. I wish these were all open profits, but this is the simulated trading. The simulator works exactly like the live trader, so it's a great place to practice. But this is the simulator. I'm demoing the simulator for our customers, so let's not get too carried away about all my open profits. But rest assured, if these were live trades, I would manage these trades exactly as I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm going to drag this up. Don't want this stock to fill that gap. There we go. Okay, and that's it. Those are all the trades I'm in. All right, let's see. See if I got any questions. Burnt, how am I feeling after the vac? I feel fine. I got it on Tuesday. Felt fine. A little soreness in the arm, but no big deal. I mean, the soreness is gone now. It only lasted one day. Totally fine. R. McG, has anyone used the positive negative market divergence filters? Well, if they exist in our platform, then I'm sure someone has used them. Let's take a look here. I myself, if they exist, I myself have not used them. Divergence. So you're talking about positive divergence, negative market divergence. R. McG, I myself have never used these, so I can't give you any real world experience on them. But if you're wondering what they are or what they do, and this is useful for anybody, if you're ever looking at an alert or filter in these config windows and you're not sure what this does, what the inputs are, what the outputs are, how to interpret the data, there's this little feature here that's hiding in plain sight that a lot of people miss. All you simply need to do is highlight the filter in question or the alert in question. And right here, this little help button, if you click this help button, it's going to launch a web page that's going to go direct to our definitions. Once it fully loads, it'll go right to the exact definition. It'll be right there at the top. And there it is, positive market divergence and negative market divergence. And you'll see a pretty robust definition of what you can expect this alert or filter to do. All right. So whenever you have those types of questions, McG, just highlight the filter or alert, hit help, and that should help you. But I've never used them myself, so I don't know. As you've probably noticed, we have hundreds of alerts and filters, and I have not used them all. Lance Dorian, is it just as seamless to trade with TI in Thinkorswim? Currently, no. It's not available in Thinkorswim. The only brokerages right now that accept live orders from trade ideas are Interactive Brokers and E-Trade. And E-Trade just came online last week. So those are your options. We do not have the ability with Thinkorswim as of yet. Now, we are in works of building to TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. But there have been some snags on the development side over there. And I'm not a developer, so I can't tell you what those are, but I know it's being worked on. I don't have an ETA on when that will be available, unfortunately. Yes, Robert, every one of these swing trades that I am in, that you see here in my open trade blotter, my positions tab, every one of these trades that I'm in was a trade that Holly had gotten into as a day trade at some point in the past. Well, actually, to be exact, if you look at the entry time column here, you'll see the times and dates that I got into these trades. So on these days, so for example, BERY on February 5th, Holly did a trade, and you can see it right there showing up in the daily chart. That little buy button shows you the actual Holly signal. So on that day, I bought that stock as a swing trade, and it's been a rocky ride, but now it's starting to work. So yeah, I use Holly to inform swing trades. Holly is a day trader. For those of you, many of you probably know that. As the AI is currently constructed, all of the trades are exited by the end of the trading day. Holly holds no trades overnight, and that's fine. That's great. But I go through all the Holly trades every day and pick and choose the ones that I like for swing trades because I like the edge, even if it's just a slight edge that Holly gives me. I know that Holly saw something in that stock today, whether it's a stock, crossing a significant moving average or a key level of support or resistance or an uptick of insider buying. There's hundreds of reasons why Holly will get into a trade, but that catalyst has the potential to move a stock for several days or several weeks. That catalyst doesn't expire at 4 p.m. Eastern when the market closes. That's just an artificial constraint we've placed on the platform in service of day trading. So in fact, I've built my own little layout here in the channel bar, my custom layout here called AI Swings, which I'll bring up for you right now. And this is the channel that I use in the last hour of the day. I'll go through all the Holly trades. I've got a little window right here, a little AI strategy trades window. Shows me all of the long trades that Holly has done today, just the long trades. I don't care about any short trades she did. I'm only interested in the long trades. And I can see that she's done 4 so far today. Again, I usually do this the last hour of the day because by then Holly has gotten into all the trades she'll get into for the day. She rarely will enter new trades in the last hour. And so I'll look through these tickers, and I got the charts here across the top. It's all the same stock, just different time frames. So starting from left to right, I got a monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, and then a 5-minute chart. I'm mostly, at this stage of the game, I'm mostly paying attention to these first 2 charts, the monthly chart and the weekly chart. I want to see a long uptrend before I take a long swing trade. I want the wind in my sails. I want the trend to be my friend. Okay? So if the monthly chart and the weekly chart are both up and to the right, then I'm much more inclined to take a trade. I like this monthly chart, but I don't like this weekly chart. So I'd pass on that one later today. I think I would do international paper. The monthly chart is a little up and down, but I mean, right now we're kind of right back in the upper 20th percent of the range for the last 10 years. The weekly chart looks great. This is a stock I would do a swing trade on. Fast, definitely would do this one. Monthly chart up and to the right, weekly chart up and to the right. WHLM, pass on this one. I also don't like that market cap, 40 million. I like stocks have at least a $500 million market cap, but that's just me. So that's a little bit of my process. Thanks for asking, Robert. That's how I use Holly for swing trading. If you haven't figured this out by now, your boy Shawnee here, he's a simpleton. I like to keep things as simple as possible. I've been trading for 23 years and I've done everything I can to make things as complicated as possible, and it never works out for me when I do that. For me, I want to keep it simple. My screen is going to go black for 1 second here. I got to flip to another screen. Bear with me. Thank you very much. Just have to adjust a trade here on my other desktop. Okay, sorry about that, and we're back. Our risk as traders, or our job as traders, number 1 is to reduce risk wherever possible. And that's what I just did. I have an open option. I got a butterfly position in the SPX options, and I just needed to adjust it a little bit as the market's moving. All right, folks. I see that we've had at least 15 people log in, more than 20 people log in since I first launched the Q&A at the top of the hour. So for those of you who missed my preamble at the top, this is a live Q&A. All the content here will be driven by you, the questioners. So if you have a question, if you need help with a feature, if you need help understanding something, building something, interpreting something, type the question into the chat panel there on your YouTube page, and I'll see it and I'll do my best to answer it. What do you think? Is the game over here in GameStop? Look at that trend. I'm an amateur chartist, but I mean, I don't know. That looks like the game is over there in GameStop. I mean, someone might argue, well, wait a minute. What about this trend? and you would have a point. You would have a point. But which trend line's going to hold there? My money's on this stock breaking down, but like I said, I'm an amateur chartist. What do I know? Razak, I have not taken any day trades today. I don't consider myself a day trader anymore. I used to day trade. I started as a day trader. I started trading in 1998, and I was a very, very aggressive day trader, trading hundreds of thousands of shares every single day, primarily scalping. But that's not my bread and butter these days, Razak. I am a swing trader, primarily trade options. Although I do dabble in the occasional swing trade in stocks. But no, not a day trader. Not anymore, but I certainly speak the language. I've certainly been in the trenches, and I've experienced everything you've experienced, that's for sure. And more. Both better and worse, I'm sure. Yeah, Mr. Dev, I think I agree with you. GME is a sell until it's not. Guilty until proven innocent, right? As I say. TP, want to build an alert for morning dip bounces. Any settings you may suggest? Well, there's a lot of ways to skin that cat, TP. There's no one right answer there, but let's create a new alert window here. Looking for stocks that are bouncing off their lows. I'm going to start from scratch. One alert you might be interested in is the pullback. If you do the 25% pullback from lows might be something you might want to play around with. If you're curious about what that is, you can hit the help. It'll tell you, but basically it's going to alert you anytime a stock bounces 25% of its intraday range off of the low. So that by its very definition is a bounce. Now you could use a 25% pullback or wait for something far more aggressive. That would be the 75% pullback. And you might use you might use each of these in different ways, right? You might use the 25% pullback as a signal to get long, right? Whereas you might use the 75% pullback as a chance to get short. To each their own, but that's a good way to find bounces off the morning lows. So play around with that TP and let me know if that works for you. And just a little note on alert windows there. I was setting up the alert there for TP. When you're building alert window, let's bring it up again. Let's build an alert window. Start from scratch. So let's say you got your alert. He was looking at that bounce. No, pullback. He was looking at this pullback. We were looking at this pullback alert. So let's say I add that to check it to make it active. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you stop right here and do nothing else, what's going to happen is you're going to have an alert window that will definitely fire alerts for you, but it's probably going to fire a lot of alerts depending on how active that alert is. You're going to want to add some filters to any alert window so that you're not getting alerted on every stock under the sun that's doing what you want to do, because the reality is you're not going to want to trade every stock that has a 25% pullback from the lows, right? I mean, depending on who you are, you might not want to trade penny stocks. So you don't want to see any stocks that are under, let's say, $5 a share, right? So you're going to want to add a filter to filter out stocks that are below $5 a share. You might only want to trade stocks that have a certain market cap, right? You don't want it to be too big and you don't want it to be too small. So you could add a filter for market cap, right? If I go to the search tab and type in market cap, I can add a filter, highlight it, hit add filter, and I could set some minimums, right? I could set a minimum of 500 million, but maximum of 5 billion or something like that. I think that's the number. Let's see. You know what? I think I actually have to do the actual number. So 500. So 50 million and there you go, and 5 billion. So I can see that. So that, that might be something you want to do. I don't know. But you'll want to add filters, right? Because you don't want to see every stock under the sun. You might want to have some market cap filters. You might want to have some volume filters, right? You don't want to see stocks that trade by appointment, as they say. A stock that only does like 50,000 shares a day. That's a stock you could get stuck in with no volume, super wide bid-ask spread. So maybe you have a minimum volume requirement. All these things are very important. Excuse me one sec, guys. My position keeps getting tightened up, so I'm just trying to reduce some risk there. All right. Well, Richard, I'll indulge you right now, but guys, this is a Q&A session to ask questions about the software. That's what we're hoping to do here. This is not the live trading room with Barry, so we're not going to really comment too much on setups and stock trade ideas. But what do I think about Fubo on a 5-minute chart? I think it wants lower. That's what I think. That's just my opinion, though, Richard. I'm no expert, but look. Stock moved down off the open. Now it's consolidating. I'd say if we break below 21 and a quarter ish, 21.40, I'd probably want to look to get short again if I was a day trader. But that's up to you, Richard. Guys, I noticed my little topless I got up here on the right. I like that little topless. It shows me all the stocks that have moved the most since the opening print. So you see at the column here, change since open, change from the open percentage. So this particular stock right here, CELC, is up 23% since the opening print. I like this. Because this will, because a lot of times you'll see a stock that's up big on the day, but most of that gap happened overnight and you didn't have an opportunity to trade it, right? Stock closed yesterday at 20 and opens the next day at 30, right? You didn't have a chance to trade it. So I'm much more interested in the stocks that have had a big move since the opening bell. And so this little top list here shows me all the stocks that have the biggest move up. So if I double click this column, I can also see the stocks that have had the biggest move down. So look at this one, HIMX. Wow. I mean, just straight down 15% since the opening print. I don't know. I like this little top list here. It gives me some good ideas for some trades. You're welcome, TP. Yeah, keep kicking it around, man. Keep playing. The thing about Trade Idea software, and this is the same with your trading platform and any new software really, is that there's a lot of bells and whistles. There's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things to blow your mind and a lot of rabbit holes to go down. Don't feel like you got to figure everything out in the first day or the first week. I tell everybody, look, once you find those one or two things that are so important to your trading that really help, once you find those two things and you just hammer them home to make them exactly the way you want them, that's all you need. Everything else is gravy. I say this story often, but it's incredibly true. When I was new at Trade Ideas, when I was a new employee at Trade Ideas a number of years ago, I had an opportunity to talk to some of our long-term customers. And one customer in particular, we had a long conversation. He said, Sean, I love all the new features that Trade Ideas has. I've been with you guys for over a decade. And when I started, all you guys had was a top list and an alert window, which is true. And that's all I use, buddy. He's like, I don't use your AI. I don't use your charts. I don't use your single stock window or your news. I don't use anything. all I use is one top list and one alert window that does exactly what I want them to do. And if you took those two things away from me, I would be completely lost in my trading. So that guy and many of our customers have found that one thing or that those two things that make all the difference in their trading, and they just crush it with those one or two things. So if you're new to Trade Ideas and you're looking at the software and you're overwhelmed by all the channels, by all the features, by all the things you can do, that's normal. Don't feel bad about it. But just keep plugging away, keep coming to the live Q&As, keep asking questions, and you'll find those things that you like, and the things that are helpful. And once you got that, you're good. Trust me, you're good. Iris, I didn't really build any scans. I was just kind of playing around for some people, showing some things, and I did not save them, so they are lost to the ether. Siri, yes, I can show you the config on the mover since open. So right here in my top list, I'm going to right click to open up the config window, configure. And if I go to the summary tab, you will see the filters I have in place are stocks for the prices at least $5. I want the daily volume to be at least 100,000 shares. And this last filter here is the earnings per share filter, which is really just a hack to filter out ETFs. I'm not interested in seeing ETFs in this window. I just want to see stocks. So by setting a minimum requirement of at least 1 cent per share of earnings, or at least a 1 cent loss in earnings, that will filter out ETFs, because ETFs don't report earnings. So any instrument that shows any kind of non-zero value for earnings per share will show up. Basically, any stock will show up. So that's it, Siri. Pretty simple. In fact, if you want, I can share the cloud link here for you. Let me just right click, save or share to cloud.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Sorry, Siri, I'm not talking to you.
It's okay.
Okay, save and share. Copy all. Okay, Siri, here's the movers since today's open. There you go. Hilarious little intervention there from Siri. I got an Apple HomePod here on my desk, and sometimes it thinks I'm talking to it. It's listening to me. Excuse me one sec, guys. I gotta do a quick little trade. You know, market's open. Time to work. As my old buddy Brian used to say. Market's open. Time to work. The S&P just relentlessly moving higher. Just relentless. Gotta love it. All right, Siri, how to do an AI strat with trailing stop of the top 5 of that window? Well, first of all, it wouldn't be an AI thing. Okay, the AI is completely different. AI is not customizable in that way. The AI does what the AI does. If you want to build a strategy that trades those stocks in this top list window, you would have to first build an alert window that has some kind of trigger that gets you into a trade. So maybe you would actually, hold on a sec. Let me open up the config. I mean, this isn't really a strategy, right? This is just showing me stocks that are up a certain amount, okay? And that are up on the day. Or in this case, down. It's not really a strategy, a Siri. It's just a window, right? It's just showing me stocks that are moving. Now, what I could do is let's do this. To trade something like that, it has to be an alert window, first of all. Okay, has to be an alert window. So start from scratch. The first thing I might want to do is say, let's see, since open. Nope. Change since open. Why can't I just find it by change since open? Okay, just do change. All right, so if I find the change filter, okay, change from the open, there it is. So change from the open, if I add this filter, and if I first have to set like a minimum, right? Let's say I want the stock to be up at least 10% on the day from the opening print, okay? So I set a change from the open filter. That's the first thing. And then maybe I do I type in new high. I want to use a new high alert. Okay, select new high alert, hit add alert, check the box, leave this box empty because this will show me a stock making a new intraday high. And so now if I've done nothing else in my summary tab, if I go to summary tab, you'll see that I'm going to get alerted anytime a stock makes a new intraday high, but only if the stock's up at least 10% from the opening print. Okay, so let's call this the, I don't know, biggest movers new high strategy. New high. Okay, so we'll give it a name. There it is. I've just launched it. Now, if I wanted to auto trade this, Siri, what I want to do is I want to first save this to the cloud. Save or share to cloud. There's the name of it. I'm just going to hit save. Okay, so now I've saved that alert window to my cloud. Now let's close this here. And now I'm going to go to my Brokerage Plus window. And I'm going to locate the tab that says strategies. I want my strategies tab. And here I'm going to want to add the strategy. So anywhere in this blue area, I'm just going to right click and hit load from cloud. And the thing I just saved, which is right here, biggest movers, new high, I'm going to highlight it, hit load, and I'm going to hit add to existing. Do not hit replace all. Click add to existing. And then there we go. There's that strategy. It's there. I could turn it on to trade if I want, but before I turn it on, I'm going to want to make sure I set my risk parameters properly. I'm going to want to right click in here, go to edit trading strategy. I'm going to want to, set my stop loss levels. I could choose percent, dollars, stop loss. I could have a profit target if I want. I could set my position sizing here in the order details tab. Maybe my sizes are based on my stop loss. I'm risking, say, $200 in my portfolio on any one trade. So I'd go through all that. And once I got it where I want it, hit OK. To turn the strategy on, you'll see here in this column where it says strategy status is what that's supposed to say if I stretch it out. There you go. It's currently off. If I want to turn it on, I just right click and do click to enable right there. And that would turn that strategy on and it would start trading. Now, Siri, I know I went through that kind of fast and I apologize. But hopefully you were already familiar with some of that stuff. But let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. All right, Siri, you got it. Excellent. Excellent. All right, folks, anybody else has any questions, come on in. Again, I apologize for the flipping screen there. It's I wish there was a better way for me to do it, but I'm on a Macintosh computer and have multiple desktops open on it, and I just kind of flip back and forth between different desktops to see different things. And when I do that, this screen that you guys are looking at goes black there for a sec. I apologize. Well, like I said, got an open position on. It needs a little managing. So just doing that. Everybody file their taxes? Isn't tax day coming up? Or did they extended it this year, didn't they? Is a filing day May 15th this year instead of April 15th? Well, either way, mine are done. My trusty accountant got them done for me. Little pro tip for you guys, especially if you're new to trading, since it is tax season. Look, I've been trading for 23 years. I went to business school, got a college degree. I even almost minored in accounting. I'm not saying that to brag. I am saying that to let you guys know that, hey, I should be reasonably educated enough to be able to do my own taxes, right? When I started trading in 98, I got involved with an accountant, and he did my taxes, and he's great. He was great. And but one year, after 4 or 5 years in the business of trading, I was like, you know what? I pay my accountant pretty good money to do my taxes, and I like to save money. So why don't I see if I could do my taxes myself? And like I said, I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy. I took many accounting courses in college, almost minored in accounting. So I figured I should be well educated enough to be able to do my own taxes. So I attempted to do them. I did them to the best of my ability. I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. To the best. I mean, I followed the letter of the law everywhere I could. I took no shortcuts. I did everything by the book. And once I prepared my taxes, I came to the realization, or the final result was that I owed something in the neighborhood of $4,000 in taxes for that tax year. Fine, that's okay, whatever, cost of doing business. But I said to myself, well, you know what? Just to double check, I'm going to still send my taxes to my accountant and have him prepare my taxes for me and get them all done. And just to compare notes, see how well I did. Right? This was really just a learning exercise for me. Well, I gave all my stuff to my accountant, and lo and behold, a couple weeks later, after he'd performed all his work, remember, I determined that I owed the IRS $4,000. Well, my accountant did my taxes with the same information that I had, and he determined that I was owed $6,000, that the IRS owed me money. What? As you can imagine, my head exploded. Like, what? I mean, I was happy. This is great. This was a great development. The accountant certainly earned his money there. But from that moment forward, I said, you know what? I'm always going to pay an accountant to do my trader taxes, because it's just not worth it. It's too complicated, and I don't know. The system is stacked against us. So I know accountants cost money, but if you're a trader and you do a lot of trading, they are worth every penny, I promise you. So I've had an accountant do my taxes every year for 23 years, and it's one of the best expenses I have as a trader. All right, sorry about that little riff. Sorry about that. Let's get back to business here. Where in the cloud do I find what you just shared? Well, there is no public cloud, right? It's just because I shared something to a cloud, it doesn't mean you can see it. My cloud is private, okay? And your cloud is private. You only have access to what you save in your cloud. Now, the link that I shared up top there, the mover since today's open, if you scroll up here in the chat, if you want to load that scan on your side, all you need to do is just copy that link. Actually, in this case, since it's in YouTube, you have to click on that link, which will launch a web browser. Okay, and then what you need to do then is, once it's launched, copy that URL. So here, actually, let me do this. Let me show you this. So I'm just launching a website here. So here is the cloud code, right? So when I click the cloud code that you guys see in YouTube, it launches this web page right here. What I'm going to want to do then is just copy this URL right here. Just hit Control C or right click and copy, right? And then go to your TI menu bar, go to File, Load from Cloud, and then paste that URL right here and hit load, and then it will launch. There it did. It just launched a duplicate copy of something I already have, but there it is. And so once you've launched it on your screen, if you want to save that to your cloud, then you just right click anywhere in this window and hit Save or Share to Cloud. And there's the name of it. You can get rid of the numbers if you don't want. That's kind of stupid. And then just hit Save, and now it's going to be in your cloud. All right, Papo. Hope that answered your question there, or hope that tackled your situation. Okay, guys, apologies once again. I'm going to do a quick little trade here. Quick little trade. Don't mind me, just trading over here. Just trying to make a living. Just trying to make a living. All right. Wow. Didn't think I'd have to do so many trades today. Razak, you're welcome on the riff. I'm known for an occasional riff off topic during these Q&As. And that's probably true for all the guys. I do the Q&As on Monday. Steve Gomez usually does Tuesdays, and Michael does Wednesdays, and Jamie does Thursdays, and Andy does Fridays. And all of us have been trading for a long time. All of us, with the exception of Michael, have been trading for over 20 years. Michael, a little bit less. I think he's been trading for about 15 years. But still, that's a lot of experience, guys. A lot of experience. We've all been around the block. We all know a thing or two. We've made every mistake under the sun and more. We've also had good shares and good runs, man. We've all had good runs. So we all have stories to tell. But I know that me personally, I'm guilty from time to time during these Q&A sessions of just going off on a tangent about something. Well, we are hitting into the home stretch here of the live Q&A hour. I've got about 10 minutes left to hang out with you. So if you're sitting on a question that you got a burning desire to get something answered, now's the time to ask it. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till tomorrow. Maybe Steve will answer it for you. Do. What time do you get on your trading screen? Are you asking like what time do I turn on my machine in the morning before the market opens? I'm generally at my turret about 30 minutes before the open. I'm in the mountain time zone, so it's a little early for me, right? The market opens at 7:30, and I like my sleep. I definitely get up long before 7 a.m., but 7 a.m. is when I get to my computer and turn it on and start seeing what's shaping up for the day. But again, I'll reiterate what I said earlier. I'm not really a day trader, so I'm not, doing a whole lot of scanning and researching before the market opens and see what's setting up for the day. That's not the time frame I'm trading on. I'm looking more for swing trade candidates and looking at longer term charts, and those pre hours are not so urgent for what I do. Now, I know there are a lot of you out there who are active day traders, and the best work you do is in the hour or two before the market opens, scanning all the pre-market action, and that's great. And I know a lot of people do really well by that, but it's just not what I do. Lance, the column that says position range that has the battery looking bar on the column, what do those colors represent? So you are talking about, in my top list, you see these little green batteries, right? So these are position and range indicators. So let's stretch this out here. Sorry about that. Let me reopen this window. I'm closing stuff. So if I stretch out this window and stretch this out a little bit, we're talking about this column right here. This is the position and 20-day range column. So what this is showing me visually is where is the stock in relation to its 20-day range. Now this one that's fully green, this is telling me that this stock is busting out of its 20-day range. So if I click on the ticker, you'll see on the chart, look at this daily chart, you can see that this stock is making a new 20-day high, right? The 20-day range high is right here around 31, let's just call it 32, right? That's the high of the last 20 days. We're above the high, so that's why that's a full green. The rest of these they are within their 20-day range. So we'll look at CAR, for example. CAR is just off its highs that were set on Friday. That's why you're seeing this green up near the top. It's if I hover over, it says 96. You can see a little 96 showing up there. It's in the 96th percentile of its 20-day range. Okay, and so this stock down here, Copen, this is in the bottom half of its 20-day range. If you see on the chart here, you can see certainly a stock's been in a little bit of a downtrend the last few days. So that's what that's showing you. Lance, it's just showing visually where the stock is within the range. I like those things. I find them very useful. You might not, but that's what that is. And then, up in this indices up here, this is the position and range. This is just the intraday range, and this is the 5-day range. This one's a 20-day range. So to each their own, whichever one you like. But that's what those are. Yeah, Razak, I know there's a lot of action happening in the pre-market for active day traders. A lot of action. I know Barry, who runs the trading room that's on this channel when I'm not on this channel. Barry is very active in the pre-market, which blows my mind, by the way, because Barry lives on the West Coast, up in Vancouver. So he's trading at 4 a.m. local time where he lives. I don't know when the heck he sleeps. Barry, if you're listening, I don't know when you sleep. Do you sleep? Are you one of those guys that gets only 4 hours of sleep a night? If you are, I'm jealous because I wish I was one of those guys, but I am not. If I don't get 7.5 hours of sleep every night, I'm a baby. All right, folks, I'm going to issue last call for questions. We are running up. We got about 6 minutes left with you guys, and at which point I will pass this back to Barry. And Barry in the live trading room will take you into the afternoon, almost to the close. He doesn't go all the way to the close, but he gets you pretty close. Barry says, what is sleep? Yeah, I believe that. I don't think Barry sleeps. I think he's a robot. I think Barry is Holly. There you go. I just exposed you, Barry. Your secret's out. You are Holly. You are the machine. By the way, have you guys checked out this Strength Alerts channel? My goodness, if you guys haven't checked out the Strength Alerts, you really need to check this out. I'm going to share a link with you here if you haven't seen this already. I'm putting it here in the chat, TI Strength. Check out this link, and I'll bring it up here because I'm pretty sure it's got the info up here. So here's the link that I sent you guys. I mean, check out this performance going back to 2017. This orange line is unbelievable. The TI Strength Alerts, all it is basically, it's based on proprietary data derived from trade ideas, but basically what it is it gives you 5 stocks to rotate into every Monday morning at the open. It's so simple. All you do is get into those 5 stocks Monday at the open. You get out the next Monday at the open, and you rotate into the new stocks. So you basically, from Monday to Monday, if all you simply did was bought 5 stocks every Monday and closed the previous trades on Monday, this is your performance. It's unbelievable. My pal Michael Noss, Bonpara on Twitter, is the man behind the machine here who built this algorithm, and it's truly amazing. And all subscribers to Trade Ideas can see the stocks in the TI Strengths channel, or I'm sorry, the Strength Alerts channel that's new. You can see that the 5 stocks are active this week. So the plan was everybody bought these 5 stocks at the open today, and they're going to hold them all week. Then you could get little alerts like this FL making new intraday highs, which is nice, going up. But guys, this is super simple. For those of you who don't want to day trade or who can't sit and watch the market move tick by tick all day long, the TI strength alerts could be your ticket. I mean, you can't argue with that performance, right? So I encourage you to check it out. Go to that link that I got there. There's a video. I believe there's a video. Let me click on it again. There's a video there that has a little explanation. Nope, the video is not there. Well, if you sign up, you'll get the video. That's what it is. If you sign up, you'll get the video. It's pretty cool. So this Foot Locker looks pretty good on a daily chart. Let's check out SIG. That's a nice breakout. TPX, Temper Sealy. I like my sleep. That's a good looking chart. Dana. Wow, all these are good looking charts. Yep. These are definitely the types of stocks I like to swing trade. So the TI strength algorithm definitely agrees with my brain. Or maybe I should say my brain agrees with the TI strength algorithm. Right on, right on. All right, folks, last call for questions. If you got a quick one, now's the time to throw it in. Otherwise, Barry will be joining us momentarily. Okay, Barry is locked and loaded, so whenever we're ready to pass it over, I will. But I'm going to keep this mic open here for another minute. If there's any last minute quick questions, please throw it in here. Otherwise, I'll just let you guys know, just as just a reminder. Sorry if you've already heard this, but we do these live Q&As every trading day at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We have a different voice every day, different person. I usually do Mondays. Steve is on Tuesday, so he'll be there tomorrow. Michael on Wednesday, Jamie on Thursday, Andy on Friday. Every once in a while we mix Chris Varley in. But come on back. Whether you're newbie or old timer with trade ideas, there's always something to learn. Even if you don't have a question of your own, somebody might ask a question and it might blow your mind. Like, oh, wow, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that feature existed, or I didn't know I could use it in that way. So if you got the time and you got the bandwidth, hang out with us. We love having you. All right, folks, we seem to have run out of steam, so I'm going to pass it back to Barry now. Everybody have a great trading day. Have a great trading week. And I personally will talk to you again next Monday. But come on back tomorrow, and Steve Gomez will be your guy. Take care. Barry, back to you, my friend.
Let me see when Sean is out. I'm just waiting for Sean to get out of YouTube. My guess is that something's wrong on my computer that is causing the poor streaming and the audio breakup, especially if they tell me that he was fine. FBIO, guys, I know it was an early AI alert, but FBIO, there's a nice little red bar. Yeah, it looks like this is a red bar ignored right there on the 15-minute chart. Not absolutely classic, because the high 569 is the same as the, yeah, it's a penny above the previous day or previous candle's high, but it's close enough. Another one gapping down here, the CC Bank IBN out of India. I don't know, I always think this is a Spanish one, but it is not, of course. So yeah, they're talking, of course, India. Yeah, right. I mean, that's why TTM is down. Talking about virus cases increasing. Maybe putting a damper on everything. All right, Ija. Now, thank you, Ija. Am I breaking up though still? And how's my screen? Is you're still getting the buffering? I think it's something on my computer. If that's the case, if you guys were fine when Sean was there. And the warrants are on fire too. Muds W on fire. And I'm sure Mud itself, Muds. You're making me look Cloudera. Let's see what's happening with Cloudera. Whoa is right. Look at Cloudera. CLDR. Okay, guys, big. Look at this move for Cloudera, CLDR. That's a big move in the daily chart. Look how it basically held the 200-day moving average, the 1263. And now look at the volume coming in. It's not a low float, 277 million in the float, but look at the volume coming in. And as Zach is posting, collaborating with NVIDIA to accelerate data analytics. Severe rippage. But like most of these severe rippers, they come back down to earth. This could be interesting going forward though. Okay, depending how well it holds these gains, okay, because it's taken, if it can take all this out like it tried, and of course it held the 200-day, then it has a shot to start to fill in this area here. Yeah, no, there's something. Yeah, so Lance, no, there is a problem. I guess it is my computer. If you guys were if it was fine when Sean was on, there's got to be something going on with my computer that I'm not aware of. This just happened today, okay? When I leave in a couple of hours, I'm going to have to maybe talk to my internet. I don't know if it's my internet service provider. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, so I apologize. I tried to reboot earlier and that didn't seem to fix it. So I don't know if it's just today. This is, I'm talking in our YouTube room. There's a buffering issue. So you can always come into what I call the main room, all right? If you're, just to sign up for it. That's a good thing. We do have another room that's, well, the other room I call the main room anyway, so you can always come in there. All right, what are you doing? Land is popping here also now. Land. And this is an all-time high. Land is an all-time high. LAND. Trying to see if there's any specific news on it. I don't see any specific news on it, but land. And now another one, SGRP, another one. Now this is probably coming into a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot of resistance, but I mean, to get at, to try to get through 2, and then when you look left on the weekly chart, you see 210. So looks like there's a little too much room, but if it can ever get through that, look left, and where's this high? Way up here. 378, probably a low float. Yes, 8.4 million in the float. So, keep an eye on that 212 level. If it can clear it, I'm going to put an alert right around there. 210 for SGRP. See if it clears it out later on. If it doesn't happen later on today, maybe tomorrow. If it does, it definitely has some room. A moment here. I just want to do a speed test here. See what's going on. Ah, there's the issue. All right, I'm going to have to call them then. There's the issue, I think, and that's probably affecting YouTube. Okay, there's that at CC Bank. I was just mentioning it. This is now a gap down and go. Keep going down. India stock. All right, so I'll have to keep an eye on this PRVB. PRVB, the alert came at 844. It has room if it wants to keep trying to go higher. So kind of basing a little bit here. So I'm going to stick an alert around 850 for PRVB. See if it takes that out a little bit later and has a bit of a recovery. 844 was the high of Friday. Got beaten up, but it did come back. Did come back nicely. I'm talking about PRVB. You know what's coming back nicely is FGen. Interesting. Oh, we have one coming in now. Another one, late bloomer here. Isaiah, IZEA, coming into the options plays. Okay, so last week's high was 528. It's right there. Looking left again, 540, 571. It's got some room, but I don't know. It's not 571. I guess if we look here, and that is IZEA. See if there's any specific news for it. So the company tweets, "We have very exciting news to share. Tune in here at 11 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow." I don't know if that's promotional. It's pretty interesting that they have put this out like that. And I'm talking about the IZEA. Now that was earlier. That was 10 o'clock this morning. Good afternoon, Nimble E. Yes, so forgot to mention this one. So look at this, the distance. Hello, Real. Look at this one, the distance from the exit price. So originally, I took this one. I wanted to show you how you can take a trade. AT&F, this is in the simulator. I was mentioning that, at one point it was up $198. If you're in the simulator, you have to treat it like it's your real money. You wouldn't let something that you were up $198 turn into a $100 loss. But I wanted to leave it in there so you could show you how, by placing a stop loss line on the chart, how it would take you out. Now it is 40 cents above where I got out, okay, as an example. So I like these two columns here, the distance from the exit and the closed and the max to do a comparison. This will help you figure out, okay, how good are my exits? I can tell you right off the bat, that would be a terrible exit. We'd never want to take $200 and turn it into a $100 loss. FGEN. Good. Hello, Bolsano. FGEN. Boy, this is getting interesting. The high a couple of days ago was 1986. It's trying to recover a little bit here. This gets over 20. We get some serious void action maybe. It is trying. Of course, it got absolutely crushed. I guess this was Tuesday. Yes, it got crushed on Tuesday. FGEN did. Basically fudging data. That was the accusation and acknowledgement by the company that they fudged data. Yeah, I wonder why they rejected your short. Well, Zach can't hear me. Yeah, plenty of shorts available, I think. Yeah, there were 2 million at Interactive Brokers for Cloudera, CLDR. All right, we just got another halt, guys, and this one is shortable. Okay, APDN just got halted. I didn't think they were links. I thought they were just, it was just information reel. Let me, I thought it was just information. I may be wrong. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Meanwhile, guys, APDN, keep an eye on it. I mean, it is, okay, it looks like it could open around 8. Well, 7, well, it's hard to know. And they announced, so there is actually news. There is a news halt, and this is a virus play. Okay, here's your news right here. That happened right at the halt. So it is a virus play. Of course, it has a ton of room. 831 though is the 200-day moving average, but remains to be seen if this is going to remain. This is actually, it is shortable for me at Interactive Brokers, APDN. Just have to wait, see what it does when it comes out of its halt. Yeah, this crazy one, this TIRX. Stay away. But you know what? There will be some who are going to try to trade this on the way up somehow. I mean, it went from 100, just about 100 down to 26. Well, we know what we do know, Lily, is that it will not keep going higher in a controlled way. I mean, we can almost rest assured that what will happen is it could pop, but you know, rarely do these things kind of rest a little, then move higher, rest a little, move higher. All we can do is wait to see what it. Well, right now this is all over the place. I mean, I just saw 716 flash. Now I see 765, 765, which is not a huge gap. But I mean, we don't know what's going to happen when it opens. 115. So if it is a 5-minute halt, it'll be 39 seconds after 120. So we still have a little bit of time to wait. Yeah, I mean, it's an eye-catching headline. How much money they make down the road, who knows, okay? But there's no question. I mean, these are eye-catching headlines, and of course, this is why you get all of a sudden this big volume spike. I mean, that's more than half the volume of the day right in this 2-minute candle. Yes, it looks like it. So a China IPO, one of those very, very low float China IPOs. All right, we are now open. APDN is open, and what did it do? So it absolutely, well, really put a little bit of a move up, but it's just a matter of, the resolve to maybe try to short it after the first spike, after the first halt. Seeing a lot of this now. We used to always say maybe the rule of thumb was the first halt. You'd also see a nice pop, and then it would get halted again. The second halt, maybe a little iffy. The third halt usually was the one resulting in the big downturn. But starting to see more and more that after the first halt, you get a little pop and then it drops. Again, this is not scientific. This is not then meant to be taking me to say, okay, immediately short the pop after the first halt. It's just, I'm starting to see this more and more though. Okay, now that I can focus just a little bit more now, I'm going to be watching Real Scan to maybe try to short some of these tops, see what happens. Yeah, JB, I would say this, yes. And maybe some of these have to be a little more actionable. Don't want to curb your enthusiasm, but just, maybe a little more actionable. Look at the SPY, guys. We've got 45 minutes now down, taking out this green candle here. All right, so again, this EXO, kind of what I thought might happen. It's just going to struggle to get through this area up here. Yeah, this is a buyout. LMNX is a buyout at $37 a share. I don't know who Diasorin is. Probably a probably, I don't know where they're out of. Diasorin. No, it is okay, it is an English stock. I guess it trades on the FTSE, FTS, so it doesn't trade in the U.S. stocks, or a U.S. market, I don't think. There is its symbol. Yeah, so it's an all-cash transaction also, so it's not stock related. So it's at 37. That's the buyout, LMNX. That is the buyout price, 37. So it's really been kind of hanging there all day. I mean, there's nothing I can't see it really jettisoning that much higher. No, just an initial pop, John, and then get out. You know what is just starting to drop now is APRE. A little break. Is it shortable? It is shortable. Look at this little break right there on the 15-minute chart. This is an all-time low, APRE. Of course, it got absolutely crushed a few weeks ago. This is back actually towards the end of last year. Can't quite tell. Towards the end of last year, it just got hammered, hasn't really recovered, and it is continuing down now. A little break out of consolidation for APRE. Yeah, I do see that pop for GME. I am not in that one anymore, guys. I mean, I know I had that at 150, but you know, I slid. I'll look at it again, perhaps as a wild card, but I am not on. No, it was too early for me. I wasn't able to. I'm going to be following your alerts now. I couldn't concentrate on anything really until the last half hour of your stuff. But I do see it. Yeah, it was at 11:19. It's 666. The ominous 666. Wow, look at FGEN, guys. Wow. Now, I wouldn't be chasing this, but man, what a nice move. And look at the volume that came in, FGEN. Too bad there are no shorts available for TIRX. At least at Interactive Brokers. I shouldn't speak for everybody, but no shorts available for this one at Interactive Brokers. Anybody have shorts for that? And if so, who is your broker? There is no news. If you can believe it, they didn't halt for news. It just, at least I can't see any. I cannot see any specific news. I'm sure if you scour the internet somewhere, there might have some rumors about it, but I don't see anything in my headlines. Wow, a correction. That is a, okay, that's a correction, yes, 73% down. That is a correction. Exactly, right back to its IPO. I don't know. Nobody can seem to find any specific news other than once it started, you know, with such a low float, 3.9 million in the float, once that little bit of selling started, you know, others are going, uh-oh. And so everybody's fleeing it. I don't see any specific news though. Okay, what is the news, Eli? You tell the room what the news is. I just can't see any, other than get halted several times. Just a moment, please. Yes. Yes, I'm on mute. For how long, I don't know. No, it was not 40 minutes. All right, we've had now an hour of the SPY being down now. We have another 7 minutes for this candle to close, but we've had an hour of a downward emotion. Okay. Okay, well, that's about 5 minutes, I guess. Short the tops, short the tops, short the tops. I'm just waiting for the next one. Another China stock on the way down. LX, this is not quite an all-time, well, not an all-time low, but LX is just on the way down too. Breaking through 9 also. 766 looking left is the next low looking left. Bit of volume coming in on that break of 9. Little bit of sort of consolidation on the 2. Sort of. All right, so I left it in there just to show you. Remember when I was demonstrating how you can take a pullback trade for something. So ears. So I left it in there, and it took the trade right here. Now, watching the market. So what I'm going to do though, I'm just going to flatten it, get out of the trade. Okay, this is in the simulator. Just add the exit order. Add stop order. You talking about a stop? Didn't you ask me that last week? Are you talking about how do you put a stop? Yeah, just add. So when you're in the trade, just, before you get into the trade, you should know where you're getting out. So that'll size you, and then just add the stop order. If you're doing all this manually, just add it. Right click on the, once you're in the trade, just add the stop order. That's if you're doing it all manually. Well, there is, but you have to watch the video. I mean, that in order to do it in an auto fashion, you have to then create a strategy and assign it. And that's how you want to trade it. That gets you in. You have to have a stop. You have to, figure out one of these stops. Sorry. In the risk management. So in order details, you'd have to base it on a stop loss, and then put your whatever you're willing to risk, and then your risk management. So if you're willing to risk $100, all this is in the video, and then the risk management, it has to be based on a stop. Now that's the tricky thing, picking a stop that you're going to use. So if you do that, then yeah, you can automate it. When you get into the trade, the stop is fixed, and every it's all fixed. But I don't absolutely recommend doing that, because you have to figure out, okay, what are you going to use for a stop out of this list? How many trades are you in at the same time, Gordon? Look at Mud Skies, man. Well, it's a good video I did today. As long as this holds, it's going to look pretty good. I said I was suggesting not a suggestion, but for those of you inclined to swing. Well, if you've never placed a live trade yet, then I would do it all manually. Okay, because if you've not placed a trade yet and you're gonna start doing this in an automated way, you have to then figure out from that list where you're gonna put a stop, as opposed to being able to look at a chart. Maybe saying, okay, if I got into muds right here, maybe that is my area where I should get stopped out. Up here, right there. I mean, so 1220, if it broke down below that, I should be out of the trade. Things like that. So if you got in at 1262 or 1260 and you had a 40-cent stop, then you divide that 40 cents into how many shares or how much you're willing to risk, and that'll share size you. And I wouldn't get so. Look, if it runs, it runs. Okay, if you can't do it quickly enough, I wouldn't get too hung up though on, man, I should have taken 110 shares and I only got 105 shares. The other thing, have you practiced? Have you practiced doing this using our simulator? Doing the division and coming up with a number of shares. Have you practiced? Because if you practice, then and you feel confident enough, then that's what you should do. Once you start attaching to your live account. All right. That was way too quick. Way too quick. Could not have got this one. So that was from Real Scan Vista. Went way too quick on the way down. How much volume? And a terrible spread too. So I have to discount that one. Right now the spread is 945, 1008. Meanwhile, yeah, LHDX, I mean, it could turn into a short at some point, but right now it is very strong. And let's take a look left. What sort of resistance does it have? I mean, this is up at 1250, so, I mean, in theory, it still has some room to run. So, I mean, I'd like to see more. There is a high right there at 1150. So, I mean, there is a high looking left at 1150, but there's a lot of resistance up here, around between, say, 1225 and 1250. The next high looking left is 1150. Now look at this muds though. I mean, look at muds. Look at that bottoming tail. I mean, all the way down to 12, popping right back up on the 15. Same on the 2. I mean, I don't know if that's real or not. I'd be really watching this as a potential short now, because sometimes these hopping tails out of nowhere, they can actually prove to be prophetic. Sorry, did I say topping tails? I meant bottoming tails. Same with the topping tails, but the bottoming tail right there. Just like PBTS, big sell-off also. Now it's gone negative. Just no shorts available for me. Well, so far, again, another little pop for LHDX. Again, the next high looking left is that 1150, as Real was probably pointing out. And then after that, I mean, if it got through that, you got to be careful. Okay, now it's wow, 1160, 1167. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to this, what looks like really tough resistance for LHDX. So it did pop about 25 cents over that last high. All right, well, we're getting maybe more of a clue now for LHDX, right at that 1150 mark. A little bit of a spread issue, 1151, 1159, 55, 59, so it tightened up a bit. Yeah, not over yet. Boy, it is so strong. LHDX. Again, this is the area that, it'd be amazing if it took this out, this 12 out, but my goodness, anything can happen. It's not a super low float. I mean, 28 million is not crazy low. It's acting like a real crazy low floater. When I say real crazy, like, 1 or 2 million in the float. Problem is, if you let it break that 2-minute EMA, or 8 EMA in the 2-minute chart, that's way down here, unless that thing zooms up. I'm sure William is all over this now. I know Zach is. Well, that takes all the fun out of it. It's not shortable anymore at Interactive Brokers. They just snapped up I don't know how many were available. Probably not that many were available. So they just snapped them up. So that takes the fun out of it. Oh, some just became available. People are covering their shorts. LX. Let's see for fun how many are available. No, somebody just snapped them up. Like a real game happening now. This is at Interactive Brokers. I should always mention that. So somebody just snapped up those shorts. Sure, I'll give you the video actually, MK, okay? We call it a symbol list. Same. Here's the video. Well, not if 10,000 became available, LHDX at Interactive Brokers. This is a real game right now. All right, well, I've joined the game. Let's see if this works. This might be just a scalp for me. Okay. I've just covered some guys. Man, it's if you know what I'm talking about, if you have Interactive Brokers, it tells you how many shorts are available, and it's been fluctuating between none immediately to maybe 10,000, but they're being snapped up. At this point there are none, but when I just did it and there were 10,000, I didn't take all 10, of course, but But this is not what I call a catastrophic. I'm all out now. You know, this is not a catastrophic drop. I was really hoping it would really start to cascade down. This is still pretty strong. So I'm all out of that short. Ah, it was fun. Now this could work its way down. How many shorts are available right now? There are only 2,000 right now at Interactive Brokers. So that was going to be your very first. That was going to be your first trade, Gordon. Well, I don't know if you're being serious or not. If that was your very first trade and you were going to take 6,000 short of LHDX, I may try something a little less strenuous as your first trade. My opinion only. Okay. All right, guys, I'm just going to change my headset, okay? So I'll be right back. All right, here we are back again. I mean, you've heard us talk about money management enough. Maybe you haven't, but I mean, you can't listen. You do what you're going to do what you're going to do. I have no idea the size of your account. I don't care, but something this crazy whippy, you know, to take 6,000 trade or 6,000 as a short as your very first trade, probably not the best idea. All right, guys, I'm just kind of cycling through some of the previous alerts, see if there's anything of interest. Well, yeah, I mean, this has got room. 1280, I think. 1233 is the next high looking left. Well, actually, 1283. Sorry, 1233. And then we've got 1280. But it's got to hold this. It's got to hold this area really well. Not shortable right now at Interactive Brokers. What a game is being played. Man, this is still strong. LHDX still strong. Over 12. Well, it was over 12. I would anticipate some shorts coming back. Interactive Brokers, people scrambling maybe to cover. Look at this. I mean, look at the APDN, guys. I mean, okay. Whoop-de-doo, 782, 782. Now it's actually gone negative. Not only did it not hold, but it actually went negative for the day, APDN. Okay, one moment. I am unmuted again. Yeah, FGen. Yeah, I could not hold 20 with any resolve. Yeah, okay, now some shorts became available. That's too late. Torps. or Trung. Sorry, that was Torps. And now they just got snapped up again. No, it was not 40 minutes. The vertical scale, you can't do anything here. If this is what you're talking about, this is the way it is. This is just the way it is. You know, you can shrink it, but you can't change it. There's no setting, if that's what you mean. At least make sure. Okay, show points, show both, show percent. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, there's no way you can change it. Yeah, there's no, yeah. Okay, yeah, nothing you can do. I didn't even notice this, to be honest. It says alerts per second. I didn't even notice this. So it's kind of interesting. So the frequency. I've just really concentrated, well, not concentrated so much, but looking at the cylinder, the percentages, and of course the ticker. Not really considering what this is really meaning. I'm going to have to forget about it. The shorts become available, then they get snapped up at interactive brokers just like that. So I'm just going to have to forget about it. I got lucky once for a brief little, about a 25-cent scalp, and that was it.